11 News starts with breaking news.
We're following several breaking stories this afternoon. First, FBI agents in Pittsburgh are looking for this man who they say vandalized a federal building during a protest. On May 31st, he allegedly spray painted the William Moorhead Federal Building with phrases like "Free Us" and "Black Lives Matter." He's also accused of vandalizing other buildings downtown. The FBI is offering a $2,500 reward for information about him. Investigators are also looking for this man. They say he struck and pushed a horse from the Pittsburgh Mounted Unit during that same protest downtown. If you recognize him, police ask that you give them a call. Also breaking at noon, the Supreme Court has ruled a landmark civil rights law protects gay, lesbian, and transgender people from discrimination on the job. The court ruled 6-3 that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protects the LGBTQ community. It's expected to have a big impact for people across the country because most states don't protect them from workplace discrimination. The Allegheny County Health Department just released an update on coronavirus cases. Our area now in the green phase for more than a week, and the number of new cases continues to trend lower. Just 7 new cases reported. There are no additional deaths being reported, and no one has been admitted to the hospital with symptoms since yesterday. New at noon, a sign of the times. Pittsburgh Public Schools is holding drive-through diploma ceremonies today and tomorrow for graduates. Channel 11's Mike Holden was there for the first ceremony.
The coronavirus pandemic has drastically impacted the way kids attended school over the last several months. But graduating seniors right here within PPS had one last celebration as they gathered here in downtown. Cars and students started lining up outside Pittsburgh Kappa in downtown early this morning. It was all part of a drive-through and pick-up diploma ceremony. Although students across the district celebrated graduation virtually yesterday, this event solidified their accomplishments in physical, real form with their peers. 138 graduating Kappa seniors walked up to the school and retrieved their diploma. One by one, they posed by this balloon arch on stage with their loved ones nearby. Their cheering and dancing classmates showed support from a safe social distance as well. It has been a unique and at times challenging experience, but students and school leaders say they're truly grateful.
It's also a celebration, right? Class of 2020 has lost a lot here at Kappa and all around the country. So we really wanted to do something to celebrate people, to make sure that they were having a great time.
Honestly, this embodies the Kappa spirit in the Kappa High School. Things may not have gone according to plan, but we still always have a good time and find a way to make it work.
And various ceremonies will continue either today or tomorrow. We're now working to talk with students about their additional graduation plans and what lies ahead. That's starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting downtown, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Pittsburgh is expanding its grab-and-go food distribution for kids and seniors. It starts today and continues through August. Kids can get free breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday at various locations throughout the city. And seniors can pick up meals on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at senior centers. Another cool start, but it will be a bit warmer today. Let's head over to meteorologist Scott Harbaugh in Severe Weather Center 11.
So it only made it to 73 degrees. Today we'll make it into the mid-70s, but right now, a little cloud cover over the city of Pittsburgh, keeping the temperature down just a bit. 69, light south-southeast winds at 6 miles per hour. Notice the cloud cover. Basically, Pittsburgh north right now on the visible satellite. South of there, a little more sunshine. Temperatures will be quicker to respond the farther south you go. We'll do a little gardening this afternoon. Sun mixing in with the clouds from time to time. High temperature today, about 76 degrees. This is the coolest day we're going to see the rest of the week. I'm tracking the warm-up, and when the humidity arrives, I'll go day by day, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Scott. Criminal charges have been filed against a father and son in connection with a missing Newcastle teenager. One of them was taken into custody in Ocean City, Maryland. Connor Henry, seen here on the left, is charged with homicide and tampering with evidence in the disappearance of 19-year-old Amari Wise. His father, Todd, has not been arrested. He is facing criminal conspiracy to commit homicide, obstruction of justice, and tampering with evidence charges. Wise was last seen 10 days ago. We know 3 search warrants were executed at a home along Adams Street in Newcastle. Evidence was collected there. Police confirmed Wise did hang out with someone who lived there. One man is dead and another is in critical condition after a shooting in Brighton Heights. Officers responded to ShotSpotter alerts early Sunday on Woods Run Road right next to the library. Police found one man shot in the chest. He later died at the hospital. Another man was dropped off at the hospital and was last listed in critical condition. No word yet on any arrests. There are still no arrests after a shooting left 3 people hurt, including a young girl. Police were called to Sedgwick and Liverpool streets in Manchester Saturday. They say a gunman fired at least 20 times, hitting 3 people at a backyard party.
Juvenile was grazed in the head, and a woman was shot in the arm. She was stable. We also had a one walk-in gunshot wound. Victim goes straight to AGH.
Right now, police don't have any suspects. Witnesses told officers they think the shooter was in a car driving by the party. A U.S. fighter jet crashed off the coast of northeast England today, sparking a search and rescue operation for the pilot in the North Sea. The U.S. Air Force said the F-15 Sea Eagle was on a routine mission with 1 pilot on board when it crashed. That aircraft was from the largest U.S. Air Force operated base in England. The cause of the crash is unknown. Another police shooting has sparked protests over the weekend and the burning down of the Wendy's restaurant where it happened. Georgia officials say charges against the officers involved in that shooting could come this week. NBC's Blaine Alexander has more from Atlanta.
On the streets of Atlanta this morning, renewed calls for justice bearing a new name. Rayshard Brooks, the 27-year-old shot and killed Friday by an Atlanta police officer. Overnight, the medical examiner announcing Brooks died from 2 gunshot wounds to the back. The death ruled a homicide. The charred remains of this Wendy's, set ablaze amid protests, marked the spot where Brooks spent his final moments.
I had 2 1.5 margaritas.
Officers responded to a call that Brooks, asleep in his car, was blocking the drive-through. Body camera footage provided by the Atlanta Police Department shows a mostly calm interaction. Brooks taking a sobriety test, which investigators say he failed. But 43 minutes into the recording,
I think you've had too much to drink.
as an officer tries to arrest him, chaos.
Stop fighting. You're going to get tased. You're going to get tased.
This eyewitness video shows the struggle. Investigators say Brooks grabbed an officer's taser. Here you see him running away from police, then turning and appearing to point the taser at them. An officer responds with fatal gunfire. Hoda spoke with the Brooks family attorney earlier this morning.
They could have easily waited and caught him later or let him be blocked in by the officer that was responding. It was just unnecessary.
Brooks' wife, Tamika Miller, still cannot face that moment.
So you still haven't watched
I haven't.
any of that video?
Nope. I'm already in enough pain right now. So to see anything of my husband being shot down, or I couldn't see that. I can't stomach that right now.
Within hours of the shooting, the city's police chief resigned. The officer who opened fire terminated. A second placed on administrative duty.
And today, for the 3rd straight day, we're expecting to see more protests, both here at this Wendy's and around the city. People demanding that the officers involved face charges. The district attorney for this area says that he could announce his decision as early as this week. In Atlanta, I'm Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
A journalist who was told not to cover local protests for the Post-Gazette is now leaving the newspaper. Michael Santiago made the announcement on Twitter. Santiago was stopped from covering police protests after he publicly supported another black journalist at the paper who was barred from covering them. She tweeted photos of the aftermath of a Kenny Chesney concert in comparison to damage done by looters. And the Post-Gazette says that tweet showed bias. Governor Tom Wolf is asking the state Supreme Court to intervene in his fight with lawmakers trying to end pandemic restrictions. Last week, both chambers voted to end the state's emergency disaster declaration. That declaration, which was issued in March, shut down non-life-sustaining businesses. This month, Wolf renewed the emergency declaration for another 90 days. The state system of higher education has released their guidelines to reopen 14 universities this fall. It includes having a plan in place if the school gets a confirmed case, less traveling for everyone, and preparation for remote learning if needed. Each plan from the universities would be different because the coronavirus has impacted parts of the state differently. Vermont's federal program has given unemployed Americans an extra $600 a week, but that extra cash will likely stop showing up in about 6 weeks. Our Serena Marshall is in Washington with a look at other options.
Good afternoon. Those additional funds were part of Congress's response to the COVID pandemic in order to help Americans. They're set to expire at the end of July, and White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow called them a disincentive.
We're paying people not to work. It's better than their salaries would get. And that might have worked for the first couple of months. It'll end in late July. I think that returning to employment, we are, in the administration, the president is looking at a reform measure that will still provide some kind of bonus for returning to work.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates that while fewer people will return to work because of those funds, short term, they also estimate it would lead to a demand for goods and services which could help the economy. More than 20 million Americans remain unemployed because of the COVID pandemic. House Democrats passed an extension of that benefit that would take it through January 2021, part of their HEROES Act. But that bill was largely criticized by Republicans, and the Senate Majority Leader has vowed that any legislation they put forward would not include that extension. Reporting from Washington, I'm Serena Marshall, Channel 11 News.
An American has been sentenced by a Russian court for spying. Paul Whelan, a former U.S. Marine, will serve 16 years in prison for espionage. Whelan has repeatedly denied the allegations, claiming he was framed when he was unwittingly handed a flash drive containing supposed state secrets during a trip to Russia for a wedding in late 2018.
Extremely excited. I try not to, it's like I canceled 2 times.
He's surviving coronavirus, and after 21 days on a ventilator, he is ready to go home. The life lesson he's learned from his hospital bed. And a boat crashes onto a Pennsylvania beach. The driver immediately arrested. The moment, witnesses say they knew something wasn't right.
Plus, I'm using Storm Tracker to pinpoint which neighborhoods will see the most sunshine this afternoon.
You're watching WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. All the best things happening in Pittsburgh in one place. Watch 11 Things to Do, Thursday and Friday mornings at 9:15 on WPXI Now and on demand.
You put on Channel 11 Morning News. There is a team that has been working all night to get you the news you need.
The news doesn't stop. We don't stop.
As a mom, I know your morning is busy. We're going to give you everything you need, from the breaking news desk to weather and traffic. When you walk out that door, you're prepared.
Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper, tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
A man, after a suspected drunk driving incident on a boat, crashed on Lake Erie near Chautauqua Park. Witnesses say they watched as the boat got closer to shore and didn't stop, nearly hitting a woman before crashing. They all tried to help the man off the boat, and they say he was apparently drunk. Eventually, he was removed from the boat by the Erie Fire Department and arrested on boating while intoxicated charges. Support is growing to toughen penalties in Pennsylvania for boating under the influence. Right now, penalties are similar to those that drivers face on the road. But measures to stiffen the law are gaining support at the Pennsylvania legislature. It calls for counting BUI and DUI offenses together to trigger stronger penalties for multiple offenses. A young girl is in the hospital after falling over a cliff in Beaver County. According to the Trib, rescue crews were called to Buttermilk Falls Park in Homewood Borough yesterday afternoon. They were able to get her to safety, and she was taken to the hospital to get checked out.
Enjoy the moments in your life. Time is a beautiful commodity.
That's the perspective from a local man who nearly died from COVID-19. He's been recovering in the hospital since April, relearning the things you and I do every day without thinking about it. Channel 11 news anchor David Johnson has more on the road to recovery.
It's been a long time since Fred Zock could dance to polka music. The 69-year-old from Lower Borough nearly died in April.
He was diagnosed with COVID-19. So he was very sick. He had respiratory failure.
He was on a ventilator for 21 days, and he's been in the hospital for nearly 2.5 months.
You know, some people are lucky. You know, they don't get real symptoms. Me, I was probably compromised from the lymphoma treatments, chemo that I got in the fall.
Zock, a 3-time cancer survivor, thinks he got the virus while attending a play in March. For the last several weeks, he's been learning how to talk, eat, and walk.
Had been bedridden so long and been sick, so he couldn't move himself in bed. It took 2 people to sit him up in bed.
It's been a long road from that point. These videos provided by UPMC staff, you can see Zock regain his strength and endurance. He's now able to walk up steps and get into a car and, of course, dance. We've got the blues on the run. But Zock says he couldn't do this alone, and he's thankful to the therapists, nurses, and doctors.
Just totally delighted. They're so dedicated, caring. I call my nurses and therapists angels.
He's now counting down the days until he finally gets to go home.
Extremely excited. I try not to, it's like I canceled 2 times. I try not to put the cart before the horse, but I think next Monday everything's going to come through.
Well, he hopes people take the warnings of protecting themselves seriously, and he considers himself lucky. NASCAR opened up its races to spectators on Sunday for the first time since the coronavirus pandemic. And as you can see, not a lot of people there. Only 1,000 fans were allowed in the grandstands, and all of them were first responders and military families. The race was held at the Homestead Miami Speedway in Florida. Denny Hamlin won, marking his 40th career win. Big-time rugby is back in New Zealand. No social distancing, no masks. After a strict lockdown, New Zealand is opening back up, and a capacity crowd of 43,000 fans came out for Saturday's game. New Zealand has had remarkable success eliminating the coronavirus. No new cases of the virus have been reported in more than 3 weeks. Today marks the first day, I should say, of phase 2 in New Jersey, a state hit hard by the virus. Small businesses along the boardwalk are opening their doors. The owner of a lemon stand says that the pandemic hasn't been all bad for his business, but he is grateful to be open again.
We had to look at the silver lining. We were allowed to sell, we were allowed to serve our community, we were allowed to put our employees on the books. We had some really great things that happened to us that other businesses would have loved the chance to open.
New Jersey's governor says the state is hoping outdoor gatherings can rise to 500 in time for delayed graduations next month and the 4th of July. Firefighters in Santa Barbara, California are battling a fast-moving brush fire. High winds are causing the flames to move fast and threaten homes. Evacuations are already underway, and a major highway has been shut down.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
A nice mix of sun and clouds across much of the area today, although there are a few spots I realize as you look out your window, especially just north of Pittsburgh, where there's a little more cloud cover. Right now, live look at our PennDOT cameras. This is Crosstown Boulevard. You can see the blue sky, the puffy white cumulus clouds this afternoon. Fair amount of sunshine right now at I-79 and Kerwin Heights as well. So sun in and out throughout the afternoon today, and temperatures will continue to come up slowly. 69 right now in Pittsburgh, Butler, 68 degrees, Morgantown currently at 71 degrees. Good deal of sunshine today. If you're with us this morning on Channel 11 Morning News, I told you that very little of the day would actually be crystal clear blue skies, but we'd squeeze in about 6 hours of sunshine today. A little better tomorrow, a little better Wednesday. Then Thursday, there'll be a couple isolated thunderstorms. Might have to increase the hours of sunlight during the day on Thursday. Check back in with meteorologist Danielle Dozier tonight at 5, 6, and 11 p.m. as she makes adjustments to the forecast for this week. Regardless, if you're outside today, high UV index today, so make sure you have the sunscreen on, SPF 30 or higher. What a 7 means on the scale of 0 to 11 is the burn time is about 30 minutes today. So if you're going to be outside without the sunscreen, you can expect to start to get sunburn within about 30 minutes. Obviously, you don't want that, hence the sunscreen, the sunglasses, and the hat. Getting the dogs outside today. Again, there'll be some clouds from time to time, especially from Pittsburgh north. Temperatures topping out this afternoon in the mid-70s. Normal high temperature for today, about 79 degrees, so a little below normal for this time of the year, but today is going to be the coolest day of the rest of the week. Tonight, partly cloudy, comfortable. Maybe keep the air off tonight, open up the windows, get some good sleeping weather in tonight. Tomorrow, not bad. Couple ticks warmer tomorrow, but humidity still not a factor tomorrow. That'll be the last day that most of the area is in the 70s for the rest of the week and even into the early part of next week. On Thursday, heat begins to build. We got 80s working their way into the area on Thursday, and they'll be with us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into the early part of next week. As a matter of fact, even Wednesday, the city of Pittsburgh should make it into the lower 80s. Humidity in check the next couple days. Dew points low, but notice the rise in humidity by the time we get to Friday and Saturday. Starting to feel a little muggy again as we hit the weekend. 5-day forecast with your weekend. Always in view, dry today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Temperatures slowly creeping up into the low 80s by Wednesday. Now, Thursday and Friday, bulk of the area is going to be pretty dry. We'll see a shower or storm pop up during the heat of the afternoon as temperatures make it into the mid-80s, but we're not talking a lot of thunderstorm activity Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Right now, it looks like the best chance of some thunderstorms for Father's Day on Sunday with a high temperature of 87 degrees. Coming up next half hour, we'll take a fresh look at Storm Tracker and where you could possibly see a quick sprinkle as we go through the afternoon.
A local church is getting back to business, how they're making sure everyone stays safe. And we need blood now more than ever, the extra incentive for donors, and what it has to do with COVID-19.
Is happening in your neighborhood, Channel 11 News is there.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, and Butler. We cover news everywhere you live, not just downtown. We're in Aliquippa, Coriopolis, and Moon.
Bringing you stories that impact your town. That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
More local news from more neighborhoods. That's a fact. We're in Bethel Park, South Park, and Mount Lebanon. When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
Watch Channel 11 News at 6.
Followed by NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
The need for blood donations is greater than ever. A combination of factors are adding up to a tight supply, and blood banks are asking for your help. And Sarah Dulliff has more on the plea for help.
As temperatures increase, blood donations typically decrease. But this year, blood banks are facing even more challenges than a slow summer season, with the pandemic continuing and hospitals resuming elective procedures.
They're ramping up, and they're ramping up quickly.
The American Red Cross usually has enough supply to meet the nation's needs for 5 days. Right now,
we have less than 2 days supply of blood, and that means, again, we are able to supply our hospitals, but we're getting concerned.
They and other blood banks are putting out a call for donations of whole blood, platelets, and for those who've recovered from coronavirus, convalescent plasma. They've added additional steps to protect donors and staff, including temperature checks, masks, and social distancing. Southern-based blood bank One Blood is also providing free COVID antibody tests with every donation.
Well, even if a person had been asymptomatic and maybe was wondering, did I have the virus or not, if they donate with us, they'll be able to find out that information.
One Blood saw some 50,000 donations go uncollected from March to May due to the pandemic, but they also saw new donors turn out and are hoping they become repeat customers.
We need people to please make this a habit.
Making a habit of donating life-saving blood, needed now more than ever. Sarah Dulliff, NBC News.
A hearing is underway right now on turnpike layoffs. Target 11 was the first to tell you when hundreds of workers were let go.
We were all blindsided. The workers were blindsided.
Now a local lawmaker is calling out the move. The reason the Turnpike Commission says that decision wasn't just motivated by money.
Plus, I'm updating Storm Tracker right now to pinpoint which neighborhoods could catch a quick sprinkle later today.
You're streaming WPXI now. Channel 11 expands its streaming live newscasts. When other stations are national, Channel 11 News is local, right here at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on WPXI Now.
Nobody can read between the lines.
She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck.
Like Judge Judy.
Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck.
Judge Judy, weekday weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on Channel 11. Make sure you know everything happening in the morning. Watch Channel 11 Morning News.
We're getting a better idea of how COVID-19 is affecting veterans. According to the VA, more than 13,000 vets have been diagnosed with COVID-19 and more than 10,000 have recovered. The VA says it's given more than 230,000 COVID-19 tests nationwide, and 46 states requested and received support from the VA over the last 5 months to help during the crisis.
We increased our bed capacity by over 3,000 available beds, including more than 1,500 ICU beds, to prepare for an influx of COVID-19 patients. This agility allowed Secretary Wilkie to pledge 1,500 beds to state requests for support without affecting our responsibilities to America's veterans.
The VA says it's been preparing for a possible second wave of the virus. The department says it's bought more than 20 million items of personal protective equipment for VA healthcare workers. The Surgeon General is pushing back on the idea that face coverings infringe on people's freedom. Dr. Jerome Adams wrote this tweet yesterday saying that while some feel masks may infringe on their freedom of choice, he says if more wore them, we'd have more freedom to go out. Adams says face coverings lead to less asymptomatic spread of the virus, which leads to more places opening sooner and improving the economy. A mask is mandatory if you plan on staying at this hotel this summer. And like everything else, you'll see some big changes at hotels. NBC's Rahima Ellis gives us a closer look at some of the key changes happening.
Hotels are rated by their hands-on services. But these days, to ensure safety, it's all hands-off at properties like the Hilton Hotel in Newark, New Jersey.
From the minute you step out of your car, the hotel experience is different. There's no valet to greet you and take your bags if you have any. The first greeting is a sign at the front door saying everyone who enters is required to wear a face covering. Once inside the lobby, guests will find plexiglass at the front desk, signs encouraging them to keep their social distance. In addition, Hilton is encouraging guests to check in online and get their digital key on their phone.
Hilton, which also owns DoubleTree and Hampton Inn, says service from a distance is now the new normal.
What our guests want is they want assurance, they want peace of mind. They're going to want to see that disinfection and cleaning is happening.
At the Hilton Hotel in McLean, Virginia, the restaurant is closed. Also, no more in-room dining service, no paper like notepads or menus in the room, no robes. And at many Hiltons, the pools and gyms are temporarily closed. At some, guests can request a room with private gym equipment. And there's a new way to change channels, too.
So with the connected room feature, our guests can use their smartphones to control all of the controls on the TV.
When a guest leaves, the room is thoroughly cleaned and stays empty for 72 hours. Hotels at all price points are making big changes.
Do not touch the railing.
At the Four Seasons New York, mini bars, extra linens, and robes gone. At the Camelback Resort in Pennsylvania, temperatures checked even before guests get out of their cars. And nationwide, chains like Marriott are discontinuing the breakfast buffet, switching to individually prepared options.
Can hotels continue to charge the same prices they did before these new protocols were put into place?
Pricing is a really important issue. As you remove amenities, does your luxury offering become more similar to a mid-scale or even more of an economy brand?
Adjusting their brands so guests can rest easy. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, Newark, New Jersey.
The return of baseball is not looking good. The Players Union rejected the league's latest proposal. They sent the owners a letter telling them to basically force them to play a shortened season. If that happens, the union is expected to file a grievance claiming the league did not fulfill its obligation to use its best efforts to play as many games as possible. Clouds and sun this afternoon with temperatures a bit warmer. Let's head back over to Scott with more of the forecast.
I'm so excited about the low humidity today. I just want to jump in there, get going. 69 degrees in Pittsburgh right now, 70 in Greensburg. If you have not stepped outside yet today, when you do, the air has that very light feel, much like yesterday. Visible satellite right now. Notice several waves of clouds come in. So you get some clouds, you get a break, you get a couple more clouds. It's going to be like that the rest of the day today. Quick sprinkle possible near the I-80 corridor. late this afternoon. Most areas rain free today and 76 for a high temperature today. We are going to start warming up over the next couple days, including a return for humidity, going day by day with what you can expect as we head toward the weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
We are monitoring a hearing going on right now in Harrisburg on turnpike layoffs. Target 11 was the first to tell you when the commission furloughed hundreds of workers. They blamed a big drop in traffic because of the state shutdown. State lawmakers say they were blindsided. Target 11's Rick Earl found out what they're doing to save jobs.
We were all blindsided. The workers were blindsided. You know, they were promised repeatedly that their jobs were safe until January of 2022.
State Senator Lindsey Williams, one of 17 senators who signed this strongly worded letter to Governor Wolf, demanding that he suspend the Turnpike Commission's decision to eliminate 500 toll collectors and explore alternatives that allow the Turnpike to keep its original promise to its faithful employees.
I truly regret that we've reached that decision, but the world has been forever changed by this global pandemic.
The Turnpike made the announcement earlier this month, citing a 50% drop in traffic and a loss of more than $100 million. The Turnpike had planned to go all cashless in 2022, but with concerns about COVID-19, implemented it back in March. And they say the decision is not only driven by finances.
It was also driven by health and safety concerns. Today, we cannot risk returning to cash collections.
The Turnpike says they've taken measures to tighten the belt, including cutting capital spending by 25%, implementing a hiring freeze, and a voluntary retirement program for managers. But lawmakers like Williams say the Turnpike had just ratified a contract with toll collectors that promised the jobs were safe until 2022.
You made a deal with them, you made a promise to them, and we should fulfill that promise.
And Williams and other senators believe there are other ways to save money instead of eliminating jobs during a pandemic.
How do you do that to somebody? How do you do that to somebody's family?
Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
The goal of today's hearing is to figure out if there's another way to make cuts and give the employees the 18 months they expected to find new jobs. We'll have the latest tonight coming up on Channel 11 News starting at 5. The Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh is working on consolidating their campuses because of the coronavirus pandemic. As a result, some Catholic schools will close or merge. 2 elementary schools will close, St. Patrick's School in Canonsburg and Our Lady of the Most Blessed Sacrament in Natrona Heights. 2 other elementary schools are merging, St. Joseph in Verona and St. John the Baptist in Plum. These changes will go into effect in the next few weeks. The diocese has 8 new deacons. Bishop David Zubik ordained the men Saturday morning during a ceremony at St. Paul Cathedral in Oakland. He said their ministry is needed now more than ever during this challenging time for the church. More people are buying cars. Why the COVID outbreak is driving people to dealerships. Plus, rent strike. Why people who live in the old Kaufman's building are refusing to pay.
USA Channel 11 News, 11 at 11 all the time.
But this is what it means.
It means you get 11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
It means we deliver breaking news, local news happening now, and details about what's happened since 6.
All before the first commercial.
11 at 11 means I'll track storms and bring you your first look at weather before the first commercial.
Channel 11 News, 11 at 11.
11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
Watch tonight.
nobody can read between the lines like Judge Judy.
Some people who live in the old Kaufman's building are going on a rent strike. According to our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, the residents say the condition of the building has them concerned for their health and safety. Development of the old department store has been slow after Macy's closed there. Right now it holds around 300 apartments, but roughly 1/3 are occupied. Prices at the pump keep going up. The average price for a gallon of regular rose more than 10 cents over the last 2 weeks, but experts think it's unlikely to continue increasing and may actually start going back down because demand is weaker. Here's a look at the price of gas in our area. AAA says the average is $2.34. That is up a penny from last week. Car sales are up, and experts say that's because people don't want to take public transportation. And more people are turning to online car buying rather than doing it in person. So places like Carvana have stepped up their game.
We'll have a uniformed Carvana advocate that delivers the car to their door, unloads the car off a flatbed truck, sanitizes the car.
The driver who brings the car to you will clean the car prior to you getting into it.
Sellers are also buying into the idea of no-contact online sales during the COVID crisis. Experts say it's all about health and safety right now.
I definitely feel like Pittsburgh is the friendliest place that I've ever lived.
What a local restaurant did that will have a local couple missing Pittsburgh.
Plus, I'm updating Storm Tracker to pinpoint how many days we're going to see dry weather across the area.
You're streaming WPXI now. Your source for breaking news, weather, and original local shows. Amazing people are having a big impact all over rural America. Small town, big deal. Weekdays at 2 p.m. on WPXI Now. Every candidate, every voice, every vote matters. From the campaign trail to your backyard, we're talking to the candidates about the big issues and to the voters who will decide the election. Channel 11 News, Decision 2020 coverage you can count on.
Severe weather coverage where you live.
On Channel 11 News.
After months of isolation, a drive-in church service is drawing crowds in Moon Township. St. Philip's Church hosted its third drive-in church service this past weekend. Many people brought lawn chairs to come together at a distance.
We're gathering church members. I think that we've been isolated from each other, and so it's been a great thing to gather people and do it safely.
Church officials say they plan to keep this going all summer. There was food trucks on hand and some activities for kids after the service was over. A couple who recently moved from Pittsburgh say a local restaurant went above and beyond in their last meal in town. Channel 11 News anchor Lisa Sylvester has more now on how Bar Marco is making us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
In March and April, there was a lot of stress, just a lot of uncertainty.
Postponing her wedding and living through the stay-at-home order is not how Wendy Fujita imagined spending her last spring in Pittsburgh.
I just sent Bar Marco an email and was like, it's a shot in the dark, but we heard you're opening. I don't expect to be able to use this for the wine room, but could we at least come over and have dinner?
Wendy and Morgan were moving to Georgia on June 6th and had hopes they could use a gift card given to them as a recent gift on the day Allegheny County went green. But the small business responded in a way they didn't expect.
You know, we're not really ready for dine-in yet, but we'd love to have you two come and sit.
The couple says the restaurant gave them a wonderful last night in the Steel City.
They definitely did not have to do that under these circumstances. So, Of course, it's just like, it's a great honor.
We reached out to Bar Marco, which says they've been busy working to reopen for dine-in and enjoyed the opportunity to give the couple a special dinner. The restaurant's actions just reinforced what the couple learned the past 4 years.
I definitely feel like Pittsburgh is the friendliest place that I've ever lived.
Small businesses like Bar Marco are making us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
Great story there. If you're looking for a cool way to cool off this week, the Spray Parks in the city of Pittsburgh open today. The parks were cleaned by public safety crews. The areas that are opening today are on your screen now, but the Beachview Spray Park will not open until Wednesday. All those hours will be from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Might not need the spray parks today. A little cool, but by the end of the week, get plenty of good use out of them, especially heading into the weekend. Live look at our PennDOT cameras right now. This is I-79 Carnegie. Notice the sun mixing in with the clouds. You can see some sunshine right there, but some shadows on the southbound side. We do have that sun coming in and out behind the clouds, and that's going to be with us rest of the day today. Mentioned the cloud cover was a little thicker the farther north you go. You can see the difference in the temperatures. Franklin right now, 61. Clarion, 62. Pittsburgh, 69 degrees. You head down to Washington, Waynesburg, Morgantown, Greensburg already 70 or above. So as we go through the afternoon, we'll creep in a little more with the temperatures, maybe another 5, 6 degrees. Big storm system down to our south. This has kind of been sitting over the Carolinas in Georgia for the last week, occasionally throwing some showers up into our area. We did have some rain showers last night. Today, just some clouds. Could get a quick sprinkle north near I-80 as some of this flow from the southeast interacts with some air closer to the lake. Dry daylight hours, though, we're in good shape. Next couple of days looking great. Thursday, might see a couple rain showers or a thunderstorm late in the day. I want to do some grilling outside tonight. That low humidity, light wind, temperatures mid-70s, so pretty good shape this afternoon into early this evening. Sunset still not until 8:52 at night, and overnight tonight we're only going to drop into the mid-50s, so very comfortable tonight. Low humidity, can throw open the windows tonight, and clouds will be in and out from time to time, but no overcast skies across the area. Tomorrow just a little bit warmer, 79 for the high temperature tomorrow, but once again tomorrow, 79 for the high temperature tomorrow, but once again tomorrow, humidity is not going to be a factor during the day tomorrow. So you get a nice warm afternoon, get a decent amount of sunshine, sunglasses and sunscreen during the day again tomorrow, but you still don't have to deal with that humidity. Rainfall through the weekend, minimal. Most areas are going to pick up less than a ½ inch of rainfall. We're going to get a couple systems to try to trigger some showers in the forecast as we approach the weekend, but just sent meteorologist Danielle Dozier a note. The trigger systems look very, very limited on this. Check back with her tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock to see what adjustments she makes to the forecast as new data comes in. But the bulk of the area is not going to see rain Thursday or Friday. That's the term isolated. 1 or 2 spots might get a quick thunderstorm. The rest of the area, not much at all. What you will notice everywhere, though, the increase in the temperature and the slow rise in the humidity as we start to approach the weekend. And it will turn muggy this weekend. 89 on Saturday, isolated shower or thunderstorm, slightly better chance for a couple of thunderstorms on Sunday, especially later in the day toward the evening. So any Father's Day plans on Sunday, keep in mind, could get a little wet during the afternoon and the evening. It will be very warm. It will be very muggy. High temperature Saturday, 89. High temperature on Sunday, up to 87 degrees.
Thanks, Scott. 2 baby red-shouldered hawks are recovering at a local wildlife rehab after their tree that their nest was in fell to the ground last month. The State Game Commission posted these photos of the hawks on Facebook. The game warden rescued 3 birds from a yard in Sewickley Township after someone found them. One of the hawks unfortunately died at the rehab facility, but the other 2 are said to be doing great. They will be released once they're healed. Now here's a look at today's steals and deals.
Hi, I'm Lisa Robertson, and I have the best idea for you with local steals and deals. Right now, we're sanitizing, we're cleaning, we're disinfecting, right? A million times, a million ways. Oh my gosh. How would you like to have something do it for you with no chemicals? What? I know. This is from 4ID, and it's the best idea ever. So here are the options we have for you. This is the large. So this is simply, they call it a lunch bag, but it's a large bag. You open this up, you put whatever you want to sterilize in here, right? You close it, you plug it in and turn it on and walk away. It does it for you. Then you have the medium. Same thing. You want to sanitize something, you put it in here, you close it, you turn it on, you walk away. You close it, you turn it on, you walk away. There's even a phone sanitizer. You put your phone in there, you close it, you turn it on, you walk away. There's even a wand for taking it on the go. And here's the best part. You walk in the door and you put your keys in here. Are your keys sterile? No. Do you touch them all the time? Yes. You put your keys in here, you put your jewelry in here, you put your wallet in here, you put your gloves in here, you put your mask in here. And by the way, everyone else in the household does. Everybody puts their stuff in here. And then they close it, and they turn it on, and they walk away, and it's not using any chemicals. I love that. You don't have to use chemicals because these are actually using UV light, and they're giving you 99.9% sterilization rate. That is amazing. I love the fact that this is part of your new routine. I love the fact that this is by your back door, and everything on you goes in here. I love the fact that if you have a baby around, all the baby stuff goes in here because they keep putting everything in their mouths. I love the fact that who wants to think about, wait a minute, this is my favorite ring. I keep wearing it. I bet it's not sterile. I'm going to put it in here. Some jewelry, you don't want to wash your hands with the jewelry on because it might not be good for the jewelry. Put it in here. There's a million reasons, but there's one way, and that's putting it in here, closing it, turning it on, walking away. If you go to localsteals.com right now, all of these great ideas are 40 to 43% off. It's just one of the amazing ideas we have for you, and I guarantee you're going to want a bunch of them.
Breaking News Desk is really an invaluable tool.
You're going to get breaking news as it's happening. You can be assured that everything I tell you is something that's important that's going to impact your day.
We have an anchor now dedicated to following the latest information as it comes in.
I know the neighborhoods, I know the school districts, and that really helps to inform you so that you know if something is going to impact your family.
As soon as she gets that information, the Breaking News Desk is able to go on air, bring that information to you and share it.
That is a resource no one else has. If you see me on the Breaking News Desk, you know it's an important story.
Channel 11 News 11 at 11. 11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
Milling and paving starts again today in Pittsburgh. Cars will have to be moved from the streets that are getting the work done. This week, crews will be working on many streets, including Mayfield Avenue and Stedman Street. The city is spending nearly $16 million to resurface 27 miles of streets this year. Garth Brooks is heading to 3 drive-in screens in our area. The country music superstar will perform a drive-in concert on June 27th. And in the past hour, 300 locations were announced. They'll include the Comet Drive-In in Dunbar, the Brownsville Drive-In in Grindstone, and both of those are in Fayette County. The concert will also air at the Palace Garden Drive-In in Indiana, PA. Tickets go on sale Friday. The price is $100 per car. A young singer from Kennedy Township is about to get her turn in the spotlight. 12-year-old Ashley Marina will perform on America's Got Talent tomorrow. According to the Trib, she's also working on her acting career, appearing in the Netflix series Mindhunter. You can watch Tuesday's episode of America's Got Talent right here on Channel 11 starting at 8 o'clock. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
This is Take 5, highlighting Western Pennsylvania's most innovative and successful businesses.
Macy's has